In the previous video, I demonstrated a protest against life, where the body was imbued with anger, apathy, frustration. And I was on the floor, pounding my hands, stomping my feet as gestures to enhance those emotions while also verbalizing, I can't, I can't, I can't, because I wanted to honor the parts of ourselves that feel incapable of taking on life's demands. Now, this video is an extension of the previous one, so if you have not watched that, go ahead and watch that. The somatic experience is within the first 40 seconds, okay? So go and watch that and then come to this. This is an extension where we're looking at the lighter process of how the body moves after a state of surrender and hopelessness. And it goes into a place of hopefulness, of reaching with desire, of being willing to see life outside of that narrow lens. So it's a lot lighter, it's a lot more open and fun and playful. This is a really fun video that I'm excited to share with you. So let's watch how, the body reaches for this new perspective that's not in a place of fearfulness and denial, but that's open to taking on all of life as it is. Okay, this is a minute and 30 seconds. We will watch this together. And again, I just want you to be really open to the somatic, intuitively guided a movement, because this is not like the heavy, dense release. This is a lot lighter. There is no playbook on somatic work. You just move with it. Okay? So let's start this video. We ended the last one being on the ground and in full surrender. Now, what happens after you've surrendered to your hopelessness? Well, you begin to reaching up to the sky, and it begins to be very playful. Looking up to the sky instead of down on the ground and trying to climb up that ladder of emotions. Climbing, climbing, climbing higher and higher. Get me away from the density. I go faster to slower. This was actually a really long process, so I had to cut it and speed it up. And just notice how the energy, I'm wanting someone to carry me, like pick me up. So I curl the body in. I want to go higher up, higher, higher. Now, as the body turns, wanting to get a new perspective and encompass more of the experience, we're wanting to get, a full range of the energies. Keep an open mind here, okay? Collecting from the floor, around the sky. And I do this about 9 times. I have no clue why I'm doing this. I'm just doing this, okay? And then bouncing the energy into the body. And here, doing 3 circles, and then reaching down, touching the ground for some grounding. And here's a playful skip. Da 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 da. Playing around. So what I want to emphasize in this video, actually focus in on the symbolism of the circle, because that was huge, ending my somatic, or I should say intuitive movement. Um, that whole process led from the apathetic state, crying, screaming, the silent screams of apathy, pounding and hitting the floor, now into a place that was in such surrender. That means we're going to openness, willingness to see what more is there in life. Okay, this is being hopeful and accepting that there are other ways and levels of consciousness to this whole game that we're in. So as the body was beginning to move upward and reach for, we could think of like the mother carrying the baby up, or even the father of like picking the child up after they've had a really difficult time. The body wants to move and curl in, and I'm smiling because it feels so good. It's almost like if I hold this motion right now, Okay, so now my lower half is kind of wanting to curl in and wrap around. So it's kind of like that monkey, like over and around the mother's shoulders. I'm closing my eyes so I can really feel into that experience. But it does feel like a nice, beautiful hug. And that feels so great and light, because you know that you're getting support in this. So, again, the emotions that we're working with is more of this hopeful place that the world does have everything that you need to keep going. Okay. And as the turning around happens, we're looking at the opposites at this point, where we were at one perspective, one specific idea, one specific emotion, to the complete opposite side. What is behind me? What are the shadows? Okay, what is the contrasting energy that could actually support me in this? And then the circle, which is exactly what I want to end this video with. Okay, as we look at circles, we can look at just there's so many different dimensions of this, but the circle, symbolically speaking and reading the body as a symbol through this process is that we're looking at kind of the cycles of life. Okay, life, death, and rebirth, living a certain way, having a very specific image. Okay, and then moving into this, maybe this isn't what I maybe this idea and this conscious state is only what I perceive because it's only what was safe and comfortable. Now, let me die to this idea and gain more. It's almost like you're including the whole process. Ken Wilber is coming to mind. Transcend and include what you once knew and what once was into, a higher level of consciousness. And we're no longer looking at it from an individualistic perspective anymore, but more of a collective, higher perspective that maybe there is more than just the ego I that is right here. And if my shadows can support me in understanding what is that can be this support, then, where can I go with this? The opportunities are infinite. I am fully, uh, you know, graced with the amount of energies that are around me if I can get myself out of this dense and heavy place. So the body just kind of moved in so many different ways, and it's a very interesting, expressive call for life. And what happens when you allow yourself to desire to be neutral and willing and open to the reality of what is here. Yes, it is hard and difficult, but we also have so much that can kind of give us that oomph along the way. Now, I want to leave you with one last quote before we go, and that is, stay at the center of the circle and let all things take their course. Let me know how you've internally experienced this video, if it was more of a trigger or if it was a little bit more playful and gave you a greater perspective on how somatic work can happen. And with that, I'll catch you in my next video.